Where we are right now is we're at the Macklemore Children's Center, which is located in Miami. It's an emergency shelter facility for children ages 0 to 11.
It's very hard on a child when they get removed from their home. What generally happens, and here in Broward County, is the Broward Sheriff's Office conducts all of the child protective investigations. They'll go out to home, talk to the mom, talk to the dad, talk to the child, and if it's need be, they remove that child. And when they remove that child, they remove them right then and there. Generally, they don't get to take anything with them. If the parents are able to compose themselves and help the child through this process, which oftentimes is not the case, they may grab a garbage bag, put clothes in it, put their whatever one toy they can take. But I would say 90% of the children that come to us only with the clothes on their back. And you think about it, they've been separated from their mom, their dad, maybe their siblings, their family pet. They probably won't go back to the school that they were going to, so literally in about a half hour, their life changes totally.
We do our best to really, keep the normal life as much as we can, and that's a big focus of, the efforts beyond just the basic a home and somewhere to sleep is really the normalcy factor, and that's just another thing that we really rely on support from the community for. That's what really goes the extra mile, because we get funding from the state to do the basic services for a child when it comes to our care, but it's the community support we receive that really allows us to provide extra services that make the child's life, it brings the normalcy that really any child should have. No child has to be put in this situation. So anything that we can do to, continue, just to continue them having a happy and good, normal life.
And some of these kids come to us with incredibly difficult behaviors. If they've been severely traumatized with physical abuse or emotional abuse or neglect, they act out, and they sometimes have incredible attachment issues. So they're going to give up on you before you give up on them, because that lets them have somewhat of a control.
When the state provides funding for these children, there's not a back-to-school budget. And anybody who has children knows that it's hundreds of dollars to get a child, get all the supplies, clothes necessary to go back to school. When we have over 975 children that we're responsible for, that's a really large family that we have. So you can just do the math.
All of Broward County has about 1,400 children in care right now. So August 18th, we will get 18 children from somewhere in the United States who have come to the country because of the condition their country is in. Some have been smuggled illegally into the country, some have been victims of human trafficking, and we will, in one day, admit 24 children.
What the state pays for, shelter, different things like that, but what we need is the little things that make a child a child. People forget about those little things, the normalcy things, what we like to call art, culture, entertainment, things that help a child develop and develop their own personality, their own way of thinking. Things that our kids, like my kid has, that some of these kids never have. We want to give them to see a chance. Why should they not have it? Not because, their parents aren't in their lives. We're their parents now. Everybody in this room, every one of us here, all three of us here talking right now, we'll pay for these kids some way or another. If we don't do it now when they're young, by the time they get to a certain age, the facts are the facts. They're so far gone. They either have two roads, death or the prison system. Now, are you going to pay for them in prison, or would you rather pay for them early so they become productive people in society? That's very important, guys. People forget, and I hate to be very blunt, but you have to be when it comes to child welfare, because these kids have nobody but us.